Many people are passionate, but because of their limiting beliefs about who they are and what they can do, they never take actions that could make their dream a reality. It's not the events that shape my life that determine how I feel and act, but, rather, it's the way I interpret and evaluate my life experiences. We only learn our limits by going beyond them. I propose that we all commit ourselves to the process of constant and never-ending improvement. Knowledge is only power to the extent that it is. USED. Stop bullshitting yourself. You're not satisfied. You lowered your standards and are settling for a lot less. Get into the state, conquer fear by stopping thinking about yourself and instead, focusing 100% on how you can best serve your audience. My personal belief is that the only thing keeping you from freedom is all the beliefs you have about what has to happen before you can be there. Job dissatisfaction is the #1 factor in whether you survive your first heart attack. I think you got to put your intimate relationship first. If you can keep your woman first and still love your children, you are going to create the healthiest environment. When you go on an extreme diet, your body's self-preservation mechanism responds by burning calories as slowly as possible. Of course, that makes it much more difficult to lose weight. What I really like is changing a life, helping someone change a business, change a family. In the beginning, it was because I was willing to only be paid for a result. I wasn't a therapist, there were no such thing as coaches back then. You had to be a therapist and it had to be paid for by somebody, and I saw what therapists did and I was honestly disturbed by it, because I see people in therapy for 5 years and I was, like, this is absurd. People are irrational. What I want to do is let's take the irrational aspects out of it and let's just break this down. And you and I, let's go and see if we can't master this thing, a few steps at a time without giving up your day job, without having to give up your whole life. How can you have any regret when everything worked out fine? But why I think it worked out fine is due to the lessons I learned along the way. And one of those involves listening to experts. Find a great role model, perhaps someone who struggled and only really succeeded when older. Their biography and what they've done differently from you will help you. If such a person is willing to mentor you or at least allow you to work around them, great. My view is my entire life has been shaped by giving when I didn't have it. Some idiot who's wealthy and doesn't give, they'll rot in their own selfishness. I'm not worried about them. What I'm really interested in is the day-to-day person, human beings who want to go to another level of their life. If we habitually focus on how to improve things that are already great, can you see how this spirit can transform ourselves, our organizations, families and communities? To me, money is a vehicle, it's a tool. I could use it as a weapon to destroy things, or money can create an opportunity, you can create a charity, you can create things for your family, you can go do something for your family that nobody else would ever do. You can create educational opportunities, you can feed people overseas. And there's a tremendous leverage with money, or you can destroy people with it. For many people, food is a source of comfort, connection, and control. Some people's weight loss is impeded by an impaired thyroid. So I think it's worth testing that at your next physical exam. If it's off, sometimes, that can be caused by excess metals, such as mercury or cadmium. A qualified MD can help you cleanse your body of those. The goal of becoming more consistent with your core authentic self is a much stronger motivator than, I need to lose 30 pounds. So if you don't like your life, change it. How would you change it? You decide. There's no action without first decision. Decision is the mother or the father of action, and action is what changes your life. We want to avoid pain and have pleasure, so if our early attempts to achieve our dreams fail, we want to avoid the pain of future failure and rejection, so we stop trying and write it off with a broad brush. I'm just not driven enough, not well educated enough, not attractive enough, not smart enough. Is in the small decisions you and I make every day that create our destiny. I learned to park outside of Denny's because it's 24 hours. I made a deal at a 7-Eleven with a mailman so I could get my mail delivered there. You're far more likely to lose the weight and keep it off if you lose slowly, perhaps 1/2 to 1 pound a week, exercise moderately, and find that replacement for comfort, connection, and control. That's a doable long-term plan. My life has changed because somebody fed my family on Thanksgiving when I was 11 years old. It wasn't the food that changed me, it was the fact that a stranger cared. That's what changed my life. That made me the person I am today and have been for the last 37 years. All that came out of that simple act of getting a result. The most important thing is what you already do. It's being authentic. It's being curious, trying to discover gifts. The beliefs that we use to define our own individuality, what makes us unique, good, bad, or indifferent, from other individuals. Some people try to deal with money by pretending it doesn't matter, but financial pressure is something that affects us all every day of our lives. The average American thinks billionaire investors are going to be right based on some talking head. They invest and they have no backup plan. Americans think these guys are giant risk takers. The truth is they believe in taking as little risk as humanly possible, for the maximum amount of upside. They're looking for that spread of disproportionate risk-reward. I used to be, like, sleep when I die. Emotion is changed by motion. If you're going to solve a weight loss problem, or smoking problem for that matter, you must address both the psychological and physiological. Determination is the wake-up call to the human will. Ignorance is poverty. Ignorance is pain. I don't want you to go through that. So what I'm trying to do is save you decades of time by bringing you the best. All personal breakthroughs begin with a change in beliefs. Decisions are the doorway to change. I'll say, I have 4 kids. I married a woman when I was 24 years old. She was 13 years my senior. She had been married twice before. I adopted them. I was 24 and had a 17-year-old son instantly, an 11-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old, and a child on the way. So I had to learn how to become a parent very quickly. If we don't see a failure as a challenge to modify our approach, but rather as a problem with ourselves, as a personality defect, we will immediately feel overwhelmed. Be yourself. That's it. I got about 45 billionaires. They are all different, all unique, and they are all self-made. If you want to cure boredom, be curious. If you're curious, nothing is a chore, it's automatic, you want to study. Cultivate curiosity, and life becomes an unending study of joy. You must find a more empowering source of comfort, connection, and control than food. Perhaps a creative outlet, helping others, becoming active in an organization, whatever. Most people achieve their goals and are like, is this all there is? We are supposed to keep growing so we have something to get. What we get never makes us happy. You play yourself when you forget that. When people succeed, they tend to party, when they fail, they tend to ponder. If all we needed were ideas and positive thinking, then we all would have had ponies when we were kids and we would all be living our dream life now. Take the time to understand your audience's concerns. I take 10 minutes. I focus on what I'm most grateful for. Then I do a little prayer for 3 minutes, a blessing within myself through God, and then out to my family and friends and all those I serve. Then my last 3 minutes are the 3 things I want to achieve most. At the end of 10 minutes, you are wired. Everything in your life gets filtered through that. We're all going to face extreme stress in our lives, there's no one who is going to escape that. That's the one thing, rich or poor, I don't care who you are, you're going to lose. Beliefs are either the keys to your freedom, or they can also become the giant locks to the prison that keeps you from achieving what you want.